The Dalai Lama, the Tibetan spiritual leader, is apologizing after a video shows him kissing a young boy on the mouth at a spiritual service in India and then asking the boy to suck his tongue.
Then I think finally here also. And suck my tongue.
I'm back now with my very eager panel to talk about this. Jay, you've met the Dalai Lama many times. Have you sucked his tongue?
I have not. The Dalai Lama is a very playful human being, and we may see this in a weird, kind of gross, sexualized way. But this is about as sexual as a bowl of plain rice. There is nothing sexual or erotic happening in this encounter, as you can see by the reaction of the people who are there. Tibetan culture just has different boundaries around. We see the tongue as it's what we kiss with. It's sexualized. It's this, and of course that this is offensive to us, as it should be. It's not seen that way in Tibetan culture. This is a part of the body. It's something playful. It was clearly a mistake. The apology was in order. This was clearly something that was at best, insensitive to how this would be seen by a large swath of the world population. But it seems clear from the video, and look, I'm biased. I mean, the Dalai Lama is one of my spiritual heroes. I have met him. Being in his presence is really one of the most powerful experiences I've had in my life. And the aura of loving kindness that he has is evident even here, where he's being playful in a way that in Western culture would certainly be inappropriate.
But, I mean, part of also what we're picking up on is the boy doesn't want to do it. He's taking the boy's head. I mean, we're just sort of reading the body language here. I'll take your word for it that it's seen differently there culturally, but the boy doesn't seem to be wanting to participate in this.
Well, I don't know. The boy's face is appropriately is blanked out. We have no idea what his facial expression was. I don't see that in the body language. I just see kind of a weird moment. And again, look, this is an 80-something, year-old spiritual leader who's been celibate for his entire life. Unlike, we see a religious figure in a position of power, and we read it through our lens. We're scarred by generations of Catholic Church sexual scandals and by abuses by spiritual teachers of all varieties, including some of my fellow rabbis in the Jewish tradition. And we see that through that lens, as well we should. But that's not necessarily the lens that a different culture might see this interaction through.
Anybody have any other thoughts?
I would just say that, I get that there are different culture issues, but shouldn't the Lama have read this boy's body language? Watching that video, I saw the boy recoil and seem unsure. Yes, we didn't get to see his face. Maybe he was smiling. But at the same time, the Lama should have also been respectful there. And I have very much enjoyed the Lama and his teachings. I think he is a powerful force in the world. But what happened was weird. And then from a crisis communication standpoint, which is my bread and butter these days, I thought they absolutely bungled it. The apology, it seemed like a very breezy apology.
Okay, I'll read it. His Holiness wishes to apologize to the boy and his family, as well as his many friends across the world, for the hurt his words may have caused. His Holiness often teases people he meets in an innocent and playful way, even in public and before cameras. He regrets the incident.
It wasn't just his words, it was his actions. And that they should have also said.
I didn't know he was called the Lama. Is that what you call him? The Lama? Is that
His Holiness.
Not really? Okay, I don't know. The Lama. So I shouldn't say that.
No,
okay,
His Holiness.
I don't believe it. So he's not.
The Dalai Lama.
Yeah, the Dalai Lama, him. I know it's not sexual. Can I not overly intellectualize this and just say it's kind of gross? Sure. That when he says to the little boy, "Do you want to suck my tongue?" I just, kind of want to change the channel.
I mean, having raised a child, my daughter's 5 years old now. We had to set boundaries around what's appropriate for strangers to do with my child's face on the subway in New York City. People reach up and do all kinds of non-consensual touching that we felt was not appropriate, squeezing her cheeks and do this and doing that. And you see it all the time. And I think it is something that as parents we want to be sensitive to. And it's not unique to this particular interaction. This is something that is true in our own culture as well, just in different ways.
No, it definitely made me uncomfortable to watch that. Can't deny that. You know, maybe there was specific cultural context in which it was appropriate. It was it was uncomfortable to watch for sure. But I think you're kind of touching on this larger point that children so oftentimes, especially in our society, don't have any bodily autonomy. They aren't able to say no when they don't want to be touched. The idea is, oh, you have to give grandma a hug, you have to give grandma a kiss. You know, you're not allowed to have control over your own body. So I think maybe we can have that conversation now, just kind of looking at this.
But really helpful. Thank you, Jay. Thanks for giving us a different lens through which to look at it, because it's a little startling.